It's before we start, Nina and I actually are both friends, good friends with Ron Jeremy. And Ron called me a couple weeks ago, about a half hour before he was rushed into surgery. And even though we're opponents on stage, Ron and I have been hanging for years, and I know as well with Nina. And man, Ron almost didn't make it. He had like 8.5 hours surgery, replaced his whole aorta. Then he went back in for a 6-hour surgery because he's bleeding. Following week, he went back in the hospital, and so he's recovering. He was so pissed though. He's like, I kind of lied. I'm like, oh no, we rescheduled it. Then he found out because Nina called him that she was doing it. It's like they can't replace me, but he's in no shape to travel. But he'll be back at some point. But he sends his wishes, and he's hopefully gonna be back to. You know, maybe there'll be another movie for you two, huh?
Oh no, we've done our last. It's like being with your brother after a while, and I'm not that kind of kinky.
Yes. I don't even want to, Ron would have to clean up. Yes. So we won't even think about that. So, well, I'm going to start things off, and then, we'll go, and then we'll take your questions. So I think you guys are in for... have fun discussion tonight on porn. Maybe a few of you will learn some things. Maybe we'll learn a few things from some of your questions. So, my name is Craig, and I started this site, like he was saying, because I was a youth pastor. I didn't want to be a porn pastor. I didn't really know much about porn because I could never find it when I was your age. And I wasn't tall enough when I was a kid to find it or reach up to the liquor store when they kept on like the top rack. So I wanted to see it. I mean, I'm not crazy. I'm not a guy that doesn't like naked girls. I was attracted to that. But yet, even though I knew hey, I can't find it, but I wish I could find it. I mean, I remember when I finally found it at my Christian school, among all places. It was like, awesome, what's this doing here? And then we divided up the pages, and then one day, my mom found those pages, and that was awkward. So,
at least there were girls.
Yes. Yes, there were. And then, so I started working with kids, and every kid's telling me, hey, I stole my mom's credit card, I got this free trial, and I forgot to cancel it. Or, that when the internet came out, which, you guys were around for that, and it just rocked everything when it came to porn. And so we started this site mainly to just be a safe place where people could go to get help. We didn't want to shut down the industry. I'm not here to take away your right to look at porn. The reason I think we can actually be civil and we can actually be friends is because all I'm trying to do is help people. And what we did was we went to the adult industry and we actually took up a booth at their largest convention in Las Vegas. We thought kind of that they'd kick us out once we got in, but we didn't really tell them what we did. But once we got in and we launched the site, they're like, you guys aren't bad people. You're not crazy. You're not yelling at us. You're not wearing shirts saying you're going to hell. And so we've kind of balanced this weird world where we've been in and out of their world, and we're also helping consumers. So we're just trying to help people, whether you're in the industry, whether you're watching this stuff. And if you want help, if you don't want help, there are 600 videos you can go watch of hers. But in 2,000 of Ron's. So if you want that, go for it. But hopefully tonight you'll hear kind of just, maybe you'll think twice before you go there. And so I'm going to give you kind of some thoughts, what I've seen, kind of what porn does, and then we'll go from there. The first thing I've heard a lot of people say in the industry is that, Craig, why do you pick on us? Like Ron actually says I should debate Disney because Disney gives you unrealistic expectations. So I don't know about debating Aladdin, but he's like, why porn? Well, here's the problem with porn is I think it creates unrealistic expectations for you and your potential or current sex life. They're sexual athletes. What they do on camera, like you shouldn't be able to do, or some of you, like you shouldn't even ask to do those things. But when you're watching this and you're like, yeah, like sure, double anal, like yeah, I mean that's fair. I mean they like that. She likes that, right? But no, she got paid double to do that. That's why it's called double anal. I mean, she said probably probably when she got in the industry, she wasn't going to do it, but then it's like, I met a girl with Ron one night. We're at the Rainbow, a place where he hangs out, and we're eating, and it's a girl from Kansas. Never thought in a million years I'd hear this. She goes, it's a bad economy, so I'm stretching my ass. I'm like, what? And she says, well, yeah, anal pays $1,500 a scene. Vaginal sex, pays $600. So if I can do that, if I'm going to come out here from Kansas, might as well. So problem is they don't tell you that when you're watching this stuff, that, hey, by the way, she's paid double to do this. It didn't really want to do these things. I mean, does anyone really want to do an ATM? But, and that's not the cash register. So, no. So when we're talking about these things, I have some problems because you're going to then go, wow, this is awesome. And you're going to expect maybe some of these things. There was a study in ABC News reported, it said this, it says, exposure to porn can make men less inhibited sexually because they've seen it all. It can also make them more inhibited because they've never been involved with a real person who has needs and feelings. An internet woman never says no. She's easier to deal with than a real woman, but for young men who grow up watching these images and seeing them as ideal, they will be disappointed with real women and real experiences because porn is not what you'll find in real relationships. So, with porn, like when my kid, I have a 10-year-old and a 7-year-old, when Nolan watches Spider-Man, he doesn't run out to the house and jump on walls thinking he can climb walls. He just knows that he can. But I think kind of similar, I would say, to the Jackass films and a lot of the stuff on MTV, like, the big disclaimers on those say, don't do this, don't send us your videos. But come on, like especially boy, we're like, no, I want to go try that, or I'm going to light something on my body on fire. We just want to do that kind of stuff. And I think in porn it's the same way. You watch that and you got that idea, and now you're going, man, she doesn't like that? It looked good on the video, and now I want to try it. And yet, what we're saying is it's very rarely what you're going to find in real relationships. And porn has now become your sex ed. Like it or not, those videos in 5th grade didn't really do it. So you're watching this stuff, and you're going, oh, no, this is what sex is. And I'm here to tell you it's far from the sex that you should probably be experiencing or one day you'll experience. One of the things the adult industry says is that porn is for consenting adults, consenting adults having consenting sex for consenting adults to watch. Yeah, that 18 and over button is real hard to, click here when you're 18 and over. Like you guys all know, you probably found it earlier than 18. And not only do I have a problem with that, I know people like Nina and Ron, they're adamantly against that, but it's super easy, obviously now with the internet, to find. The other issue I have with the 18 age is so much in porn is about barely legal. It's about teens. 53% of the titles of porn have the word teen in them. You see the cheerleader costumes, the pigtails, the braces, that kind of stuff, I think, is such a blurred line where younger is better. I know there's MILFs and there's cougars and there's a whole line of, anything you want in porn, but it's pretty scary, when you look at Stormy Daniels and you look at her logo for her name is almost that matches of like a Disney logo. I'm going, man, some of this stuff's super sketchy, and you guys know, like some of the titles for some of these things. Exploited babysitters, young, dumb, and full of cum, don't tell daddy. I'm only squirt teen. Tiny titty teens, number 9. I have an issue with, the thought of like, why is somehow younger better? And yes, it's still legal, and they say these girls are over 18, but I go, man, this is such, I'm not blaming, this for other things, but I'm going, man, this is uncomfortable to me, especially as a father, a daughter and a son, going, man, why have we somehow portrayed that this is the way to go? One of the things that you'll hear is that porn empowers women, and that this is, Ron always says to me, women get more in porn than men. Well, obviously they're the attraction of most of these films. But just because you give a woman a bigger check doesn't mean she's empowered. And I have a problem when most of the porn out there, is not, it has a line of, instructional videos and stuff like that is possibly beneficial for couples, but there is most of the stuff that you're watching online is not, 1, beneficial, and 2, it's not empowering to women. I don't make this stuff up, but some of these titles that are out there. Gag on my cock, ass lickers 5, gag factor 16, gutter mouths 29, which that means there's 28 other volumes of gutter mouths. I mean, these aren't, that crack is whack, 2 in the bush. I mean, these things to me, you guys are a smart crowd, don't sound like empowering to women. And we talk about, with the feminists, we talk about women saying, no, well, you're being portrayed in most of these films. I mean, the Bang Bus is a whole line of videos where you go have sex with a girl on a bus and then drop her off on the curb and send her on her way. Like, that's empowering? I mean, I was across from the Bang Bus at the AVN Expo. We have a booth set up there, and our booth says, Jesus loves porn stars. It's kind of fun. And we just talk to people. The Bang Bus, I can't make this stuff up. There's a girl standing by the Bang Bus, and like she looks miserable because really nobody wants to be a star of the Bang Bus series. Like, you want to be with Adam and Eve, or you want to be with Vivid or Wicked or some of these giant companies, but this girl just looks miserable, and she's standing next to a cardboard cutout of herself. And I'm like, that's nice. And then there's holes where her parts are. And there's bean bags. And for free, you get 3 bean bags. And if you throw it in her anus, you throw it in her vagina, or you throw it in one of her breasts are, you get a free DVD. And guys are just throwing. And I'm going, nobody really wants to be that girl on the Bang Bus.